Hello, and welcome to Draw My Life. Draw My Economy. Brought to you by Karina, Aaron, and Sienna. So, what is an economy? An economy is a system in which goods and services are exchanged. There are three types of economies: command, traditional, and free market. Command is completely government-controlled. Traditional is dictated by cultural values, and free market is guided by the invisible hand of competition. Now that sounds like a lot, but we're going to walk through each different type with our handy candy dandy, Bob. First is our command economy, also known as a planned economy. In this system, the government decides the price of goods, how much should be produced, and what goods should be produced. This kind of economy is a key feature of any communist society. Some countries that have or have had a command economy are Cuba, China, North Korea, and the former Soviet Union. Let's say that Bob lives in a command economy. His government wants more apples, so they can tell Bob to sell apples instead of his candy, and sell them at a low price. The advantages of a command economy include enabling the government to overcome market failure and inequality, as well as creating a society that maximizes social welfare rather than profit. Command economies can also prevent mass unemployment and abuse of monopoly power. They can produce goods which benefit society and ensure everyone has access to the basic necessities. However, there are some major disadvantages to this kind of system. Government agencies often have poor information about what needs to be produced. The decisions are made by people who aren't really connected to the needs of the people, consumer preferences, and other aspects of the economic environment. Some command economies, like the Soviet Union, often produce goods that weren't even needed. In Bob's society, there are way too many apples, and the government failed to realize that this excessive apple supply opposed the people's needs and wasted resources. A command economy creates a powerful government that limits individuals' rights to pursue their own economic goals, inevitably allowing the government to extend control into other aspects of people's lives. Next is the traditional economy. A traditional economy uses ritual, habit, or custom to decide what to produce, how to produce it, and how to distribute it. It is often centered around the family. Boys will follow their father's footsteps, while girls will follow their mother's. Such economies tend to be close and small, and the society is often concerned with supporting entire groups rather than themselves or their families. Agricultural and hunting habits are central to their lives, laws, and religious beliefs. Let's say Handy Dandy Brandy and Handy Dandy Mandy live in a tribe in the Andes. Like their own parents, Brandy is a hunter and Mandy does the cooking and tends to children. They have a son. His name is Bob. He will help with hunting, just like his father. Handy Dandy Brandy and Mandy later have a daughter. Her name is Marianne. She helps her mother tend to their tribe's children and cook, but Bob has a special taste for sweet things. He dreams of making sweet things he would call candy. But it would be inefficient for his tribe to use resources on something so frivolous. This kind of economy has no imports or exports, and it rarely produces surplus. Its main advantages are clear job prospects and a greater focus on people's intended roles, as well as a reliable workforce and a more efficient use of the environment. Unfortunately, this type of economy has few options in the event of an environmental disaster. It is resistant to change, and is slow to adopt new technology or ideas. Its society generally lacks modern conveniences and has a low standard of living. A free market is a system in which everything is determined by supply and demand without intervention from governments. This means the price and quantity of a good are set by the amount of competition and the willingness of the consumers to buy it. In reality, governments always intervene through some means to prevent too much competition. In this idealized form, buyers and sellers mutually agree on prices and drive the economy. Producers try to maximize their profit, while customers try to find the best price for the best quality. Some real-world free markets include the Singaporean and US economies. Note, though, that both of these governments actively take part in the economy. For our sake, let's say Bob lives in a completely free market. He is allowed to sell as many candies and whatever type of candy as long as someone will buy it. Meanwhile, his consumers are free to choose between Bob and many others who might offer a lower price or a better candy. This type of economy can be great for efficiency. In theory, people will make the most logical choices with what resources they have, and this creates a system in which there is very little wasted product and the most possible happiness with what is available. Basically, everyone acts in their own interest, and through compromise, a perfect solution is reached. There are several downsides with a free market economy, however. One is that certain drawbacks aren't always included in the cost, such as pollution or child labor. Also prevalent is that people don't always use their money correctly or value some things over basic necessities. As such, the economy can be based on want instead of need, and those want items may resist change in price. Command, traditional, and free market are the three main economy types, ranging from strict control to a complete free-for-all, or even a mix of them. What type do you live in?
Guys, oh Jesus. You know why I started